I wanted to put together this example so you could see exactly what I'm talking about in terms of creating the video. What I have right now is a Zoom video thing. I'm just a conference with myself and I'm recording a video, and you'll see pretty soon I'll share my screen, but you'll still be able to see me. And so I just wanted to walk you through, like, here's exactly what it is. So what I want you to notice is when I do it, I demonstrate all 6 talents in this particular project I'm going to share. And I weave them together in such a way where it's just kind of a seamless narrative. And so that's the kind of things that you're going to want to do. Focus on the talents that are important to you. The other thing, I would dress appropriately. I'm not going to, but you could. For me, that'd be like a polo. I'd probably shave. I'd have a different background other than just my office. You don't have to wear a suit and a tie, but you can, you know, if that's what makes you feel comfortable, totally cool. The other thing is I'm not going to edit this video, to be honest. And this is usually what I do is I hit record. I do it. Maybe I'll practice it a couple times, but I'm not going to go through and create different shots and frames or whatever. It's a very informal video in that regards. Again, if you want to, you can, but you don't need to. The other thing is, so when I do this demo, which I'm going to start in just a couple seconds here, I'm going to assume that the person's sitting on my website or looking at my portfolio and they can see the other work. So I'm going to make comments as if that's the case. And so that's what you'll see. I don't have this. I do have this thing that I did. The other thing just to note is that my deliverable for this particular thing was a white paper. So that's what I'm sharing. It could be anything. I could have just as easily taken the text that's on here, put it onto the web page, and then and then talk to it from that standpoint. It could have also been a PowerPoint presentation, I guess. If I was focused on like the code side, which we will see that part when it comes up, like that's what I could be showing. But anyways, just kind of a little preamble for what you're about to see. Okay, focus. All right, so here we go. So this is this is what I would do if I was doing a presentation. All right. Hey there, James Furlow here. I'm going to be walking you through this giving data that I've put together. And so I just want to make sure that you can see it and you understand it. And so let's just jump right in. I'm going to share my screen here so that you can see it. All right, so this is the white paper that you can see, and you can definitely download it and read it on your own. I just want to highlight a few things. So for starters, the reason why I'm doing this is to give my church, Northwest Hills, just a good benchmark during their budget planning process. And so this paper will describe kind of what I was given, what I did, and the outcomes of it. And again, you'll be able to download this and check it all out on your own. So the first part of it was the data preparation. So let me show you what I was given. It was this spreadsheet here that showed the years going down one side, the months going down the other. So I was given this monthly data. And for what I was doing, I couldn't just grab an API and pull it right from here. I suppose I could have, but it was just faster to copy this into a CSV so that I could use it with R. So that's what I ended up doing for the data prep. Plus, there was a bunch of augmentation I wanted to do. So I'll show you what my ultimate data set looked like, and let me bump this up so you can actually read it. So I was looking at each month, and I was then turning it in terms of our financial month, because the church calendar is not just on an annual calendar, so I wanted to make sure that I was being appropriate there. There were a few ways that I augmented the data. For example, I wanted to know, okay, what day is a Sunday? So you can see the equations I used to figure out how many, or not if it was a Sunday, how many Sundays there were in that month. So that's what that math is there to figure that out. I also wanted to know if it was how many days in the month had it been since the last Sunday. I wanted to check if it was December. You'll see in the data here, December is like, it is very abnormal. A lot of people give in December. And so I just want to have a simple flag for that. The other one was during the school year, because we do live in a school town. And then I had the actual revenue numbers. And then just for the fun of it, I decided to grab the temperature and humidity data just to see. And so really the idea was we knew what the revenue was, what the giving was. And so I wanted to augment it to see if there was any predictability behind what they were doing. So what I ended up using was R. And so what's cool about R is that it's this free language. You can download it. You can write the code once. You can use it over and over and over again. This right here is an example of the code. Just the person who I was delivering this to didn't really No, any R. But I just want to show them like, this is kind of what we did. And so here's the actual code, which again, had I been thinking, I would have made this bigger. My guess is it's just going to be a control plus. Nope, of course not. Anyways, I'm so blind. Here we go. Zoom. Make it. Whoa. Oh, that was not what I had intended. That's all right. Awesome. Cool. Be small. Nope, not going to happen. That's all right. Okay. So essentially what this code does is it grabs the file from what this code does is it grabs the file from where oh, come on, screen, be nice. We'll do it this way. It grabs the file from where I have it stored, and then I'm giving the output file a name. I like to set it up, all my setup stuff up at the top so that it's just very easy for anyone to come in and edit. I can very easily turn this into a Shiny object as well so that the person could type in their information, then it would all just save. Since I was the one running it, I didn't need that. I also try to be very clear about here's my packages and where I got them from. We go in and we load them all like normal. And then because I ended up doing most of my data cleaning just in the CSV because honestly, there wasn't that much data to begin with. I didn't really have to do anything up here. So I had some preparation for the files, but I very quickly just got into the math. And so so this is my code. I want to talk a little bit more about that math there. And actually then come back here. So I did essentially, think of it like 4-5-ish different time series. So the first one was I did the STL. And what I found with the decomposition is that it's just great for finding those longer term trends. I also did Anorema. And so what I really like about that one is that it can find all the quick changes and things like that. It's not great for long-term forecasts, but in some of our situations, we just try to figure out like, how's the summer going to look? In terms of like Holt Winters is like, I don't know, it's awesome. It's a popular choice because it just kind of goes down the middle and it's just highly predictive. And then a recent one that I've started using is Facebook's Profit. And so this is their open source contribution to it. What's really cool about theirs is that they're good with things like predicting weird things if you already know about them. So like, for example, the Super Bowl is something where they know there's going to be a weird spike on social media, and so their forecast tool helps with that. Or in our particular case, end of year giving is one. And so those were my foundation models. And then what I did was I took those 4 plus all of my augmented data and I ran those all through a multilinear regression. And so kind of what it does is it's not saying just pick the best one. It's saying use each of them to the best of their ability. Technically, it's a machine learning type of model. It's a pretty simple one, but that's essentially what I'm doing. And so I run that code and I got my results. And just so you can see it, the way that I usually roll is I'll have the forecast results just sitting in Excel because that's how I like it and I'm comfortable there. And so I have all the results pump out. And then through there, I started looking at what was going on. So let's look at that together. So visually, I tried to zoom in on some of the things that we're looking at. And I also separated December because you'll see in these 2 charts here. So a normal like giving pattern hovers around the 70,000 mark. And in December, it's like 160,000. And so it's just so different. And so you can see the actuals are in blue here. And then my prediction is what's in green. So, it's not a bad fit visually. It's doing okay. Oh, by the way, this last little bit of the blue here is actually the church's prediction of what the year. So you can see they just took a yearly average and were like whoosh, straight line it. I think mine does significantly better on that end. As for the December piece, mine definitely it struggles to pick the peaks and the valleys. So I have some concerns there. We'll talk about that. And then annually, I'm well within the bounds of it, but as you can see, those are pretty big bounds for what we're looking at. So just to walk you through, there's more than just looking at it visually. You can also look at the actual model itself. So my R-square was sitting at 82. My MAPE was 10%. I think for something like this, that feels high to me. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what's going on. And so, surprise, surprise, you can see where things are a little wonky is in December. That's what's kind of throwing off a lot of my stuff. I actually feel pretty good about those middle months. If I were to do a next step, I would actually color code these by the months to see like, or maybe by seasons, perhaps, to say like, am I doing a pretty good job in the summertime, in the fall time? Like, where am I missing? That's probably something I would look a little bit more at as well. And so just to be very clear on the usefulness for it, and I'm going to quote one of my favorite quotes here, is all models are wrong, but some are useful. And I think in this particular case, that's true. For this model, the way that I would personally use it would be not necessarily to take it out of its absolute value, but to say, let's pick a budget based on everything else that we've seen. And then let's use this to help us get better at the seasonality, because that's definitely a place right now where we're not doing any of it at all. And I think we can help try to figure out, like, in the middle of the year, are we on budget or are we not? And on track for things like that. So that's the model that I put together. You can see that in the portfolio. You can download both the code, and you can even get the data file sets and run it yourself if you want to. Feel free to edit it. You can even read the document and see what it says. So there you go. Thanks for watching.